Throughout my years at USM, I've been on a streak of losing my closest friends due to them moving away year after year. Over halfway through my 8th grade year, it was brought to my attention that Ali and his family were moving to California prior to the start of high school. With there not being much more time left before I lost another one of my closest boys, we hung out as much as we could. Towards the end of 8th grade, while hanging out at one of our friends' houses, Ali got word that he was staying here for high school. We were all extremely hyped. I especially, who was anticipating losing another friend and then moving out of state, was extremely thankful and beyond relieved. That single moment is accountable for countless lifelong memories I've had with Ali, not only over the past 4 years of high school, but ever since he came back to Wisconsin and back to USM in 7th grade. I really admire Ali for how passionate he is in specific areas of his interests. Ali, you are someone who will defend something that you believe in to the grave and even to the moon. And with that said, Ali Vasim.
My 6 years at USM have definitely been a journey filled with highs and lows. Those being some of my highest highs and lowest lows, but I know that each and every one of those experiences has made me into the person I am today. As I look back and reflect on some of my favorite moments, a few come to mind. 8th grade was one of my favorite years at USM. The highlights being NHD and the DC trip. The DC trip was especially memorable because of the fire alarm at 3 a.m. that forced us to leave our rooms and sleep in a dining hall because of the fact that so many people's rooms had been soaked by the sprinkler system. High school came around and I was nervous, but excited. Everything was new and I couldn't wait to see what the future held. I goofed off in class and didn't really make an effort into my schoolwork, which is something that I definitely regret, but I know it was an experience that I needed to have, as after that year, I started to take my education more seriously. A year later, and I was a sophomore. Another one of my highlights in my high school experience was our JV1 basketball team. We won almost every game, and the team chemistry between each one of us was on another level. As a team, we still had arguments, but we adjusted and moved forward, which was the reason we were so successful. Somehow, I had made it to my junior year, and it was a year that tested my resilience. I struggled a lot in all my classes, especially physics. And with the start of COVID, learning became even more difficult. But even during quarantine, I had such a good time playing Warzone with the boys and creating new memories. Now, I'm finally a senior, and the first thing that comes to my mind when I reflect on these moments is how fast everything has gone by, how fast we're growing up, and how appreciative I am of the fact that I was able to experience these moments. My suggestion to all of you would be to take some time to look back and reminisce about your past experiences. Figure out where you would have improved, and don't dwell on your past mistakes, but also make sure you think about all the good memories that you've had as well. Thank you.
My name is Sophia, and I'm honored to introduce my brother, Andrew Horvath. Ever since we were little kids, we've been really, really close to the point where a lot of people thought that we were twins. He's been my best friend from even before I can remember. As kids, we had a lot of changes in our lives, like moving all around the world, and that's really hard to adjust to when you're so young. But I always had that one consistent thing in those moments, which was my brother. Andrew's really the best brother I could ask for. He's so nice and thoughtful. Like one time he dislocated my shoulder, and another time he threw a remote at my forehead, and another time he gave me a black eye with a bouncy ball. I didn't even know that was possible. But I always forgave him because I broke his arm as payback. I thought we were pretty even by then. Now that he's going off to college, I won't have the consistency of a brother at home. But I know that he's going to do great next year. He's an intelligent, funny, crazy kid, and everybody's going to love him in college.
Build the wall. Those were the 3 words that greeted me here in my return to American education 4 years ago. These words weren't uttered by anyone here, but they were pervasive throughout the country. This speech isn't politics, it's personal. Looking at me, you may not know I'm multiracial. To some, I'm just that guy in your English or math class. You may not know that my mother's from Mexico, or that I've spent half of my life living outside the US, in Europe and Asia, due to my dad's job. So, when I came back to the US to start my freshman year here at USM, I was quite surprised that that was the phrase I was greeted with. Not one of acceptance or warmth, but one of division and divisiveness, uttered from the mouth of an elected leader. On both sides of the spectrum, people are elected for their party affiliation, but not for the person they are. Why is that? Why do we elect parties and not people? I feel as though I share many views on both sides, yet I don't see it as a problem. In my view, it makes me a person with real-life thoughts. So, let me tell you a bit about me. Growing up, my life has been one without walls. I was born in Rancho Cucamonga, California, only to move to Rotterdam, Netherlands, before I was even able to read. I then went on to live in Atlanta, Georgia, Shanghai, China, Prague, Czech Republic, and then here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. On top of that, I've been to roughly a quarter of the world's countries. I say these things not in a boastful manner, but to emphasize the fact that I've seen and interacted with all facets of life. And what I've realized from all this, from the cumulative experience that makes up my life, is that all people are the same. When you really break down a culture, you more often than not find we share the same ideals: wisdom, kindness, generosity, patience, etc. While our clothes, language, shape, size, color might differentiate us, there is always a common ground: our mundanity, our humanness. This realization early on in my life has led me to never judge someone from where they come from or what they look like, and this has led to some pretty amazing experiences. I've been taught Taekwondo by North Koreans. I've gone to a shooting range to my Russian friend's 7th grade birthday party. I've gone rock climbing on top of Czech mountains. It's imperative that you be open, for when you are open, you allow novel experiences into your life. This is why build the wall and other extreme views have consequences that aren't always seen. While yes, these views may not harm you, but they could deny you the ability to truly experience the human condition in all its forms. If I could give one piece of advice for you to take with you, it's to follow people, not parties. Give yourself the ability to think critically and independently. I will close with a quote from an elected Republican president, Ronald Reagan. In 1991, to unify a country, he did not say to build a wall. He said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall." Thank you.
We already all know Anna as the outgoing, funny, and loud individual that she is. However, I would also like to point out that above all, she is an amazing friend and support system. Every day with her is an adventure, and some of my best memories have been our midnight Maya runs and our superior dress-up day fits. Anna, I can't even begin to express how much I will miss our Speedway slushies and coffee homework sessions. You have made my life so exciting these past 4 years, and I'm so excited to see where you will go in the future. Thank you for being my Lax Bro, Sriracha Hot Sauce, Barnacle Boy, and Ghostbuster. I love you always.
While contemplating what my senior speech should be about for the past 4 years, I've been left with absolutely no ideas. However, in the past couple of days, I had an idea. Dimples. I know what you may be thinking. What is this girl talking about, and what does it have to do with her senior speech? Let me just start out by saying that up until the end of middle school, I hated my dimples. They were one of the things that bothered me the most about myself. I thought that they made me look way younger than all of my peers. And of course, my mother, being my #1 hype woman, would tell me that she thought that they were adorable. But I never believed her because I just always thought that she had an obligation to say that. It wasn't until the end of 8th grade that I actually started to believe the compliments I was receiving. I remember while picking out an 8th grade graduation dress, a kind little old lady told me how unique and special they were. After I'd left the store, I had realized how cool they actually were. Today, I would like to share with you some of the facts I acquired from this Google search. I learned that only 20% of the world's population has dimples, which makes us a pretty cool minority if you ask me. I learned that dimples were actually named after Venus, the Roman goddess of beauty. I learned that because they are so desirable, in the 1930s, a woman named Isabella Gilbert invented a machine that pressed holes into people's faces, calling it the dimple machine. Finally, I learned that in many cultures, dimples indicated beauty, happiness, and were a symbol of luck. At this point, I finally began to realize how awesome my dimples are. For all the years I hated this facial feature, I had a sudden epiphany. Is it really that bad to have imperfections? I learned from this experience that just because I may stand out a little bit more when I smile, it isn't something I should be embarrassed about or hate.
Embracing our imperfections is what makes us unique, and from that point on, I began to finally believe it. For all of you out there who have experienced the same struggle that I did growing up, know that your imperfections are something that should be cherished because they are what make you, you.
The brother I've always been asking for, I finally met and became close with in 8th grade when he transferred to USM. Donnie, the memories we have made I'll never forget, from winning state to hanging out for 60 days straight and always ending the night by having a night-night drink. Dippy boy, the friendship we have is indescribable. True friendship is one of the greatest blessings that not everyone is lucky enough to have. I think we are more twin-like than most twins, like when we look at each other and nod our head knowing Porter and Cole are about to do something stupid. I can't imagine what the future holds for you, but I know you are already on the path of greatness.
The Spanish sun on my face blinded me as I tried controlling a goal kick from the opposing team. As the ball went perfectly in line with the sun, everything seemed to slow down. All I could focus on was controlling the ball on my foot. I got a glimpse of the ball right before I hit my foot, and everything went back to normal. My teammates were yelling for the ball, and the other team was speaking in a foreign language. I picked my head up and slid a perfectly executed ball between the defenders, and it was just my teammate and the goalie. He faked a shot left, which threw the goalie to the ground, and my teammate dribbled to the right with an open field in front of him. Just my teammate and the goal. Game over. My sophomore year summer, I traveled across the world to Spain to compete against teams from all over the globe. Generation Adidas is a program for soccer players like me, normal kids who dedicate themselves fully to the sport and love it wholeheartedly. The week spent playing in Real Madrid training grounds was the most pivotal moment in my soccer career and personal growth. Not only did my team place second out of 15 teams, but my teammates and other athletes within the program taught me perseverance and strength. Handpicked by specialty coaches, our USA team of 30 was jam-packed with the best players in the nation. I can't even begin to describe how grateful and proud of myself I was when I learned I had chosen to play. Not sure what to expect, I traveled 14 hours alone, ball in hand, and showed up to the field ready to play. What I heard and saw was something new. Players were from different nationalities, speaking a variety of languages. Coming from my hometown, Fox Point, Wisconsin, which isn't necessarily diverse or flavorful, the experience is brand new. The tournament consisted of teams from Japan, France, Spain, Ireland, England, and many other countries. What I realized and learned through this experience is multifactored. Beginning the very first practice, I faced the rude awakening that there were players better than I. There was no chemistry between the team or the coaches, which made it hard to create an unbeatable team in a couple days. Being a leader of my hometown, given my soccer skills, I knew I would have to lead through heart instead of talent, because every player on the team was just as experienced. I united 30 players who I had never met before just within a few hours. We practiced, ate, and slept together, which created a very real bond between all of us. I learned some very valuable lessons in this time. My communication skills were greatly improved due to the fact of introducing myself to random people I've never met and trying to show them who I really was in a short amount of time. On the field, I learned perseverance from not understanding the opposing team's language, which made it hard to figure out their next moves. I persevered by understanding their movement on and off the ball, which allowed me to guess what they were saying without understanding their language. The biggest value I acquired was leadership. Since my experience in Spain, I have been able to lead everywhere: schools, soccer, and mission trips. My USA team allowed me to grow in many different ways that I would take with me my whole life. Thank you.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Teddy, and I am George's younger brother. My brother has always been a big part of my life. We have made so many memories together, from playing some stick and puck to going on fun trips with our family. Even though we don't always get along, he has always been able to drive me to friends' houses, get food and ice cream, even if he doesn't always want to do these things himself. Even though George is leaving for college next year, I will miss our fun car rides to school, and I know that when he is home that we will be able to create many other great memories.
From a young age, lemonade has played a quintessential role in my life. Lemonade has never been a drink to me. It's been a way of life. I've always had a craving for lemonade, and to this day, it is still my favorite drink. The sweet and refreshing taste of lemonade has yet to get old. I never liked soda because I'm not a fan of carbonation. so lemonade has always been the next best option. The relaxed feeling I experience after drinking a cold can always makes me want to guzzle more. Lemonade always tastes the best after a long water skiing run or a nice hole of golf. I would argue lemonade is the most versatile beverage on earth besides water, because you can consume it on any occasion. Lemonade even complements foods such as a nice hot dog, steak, or burger. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Coca-Cola has stopped the production of Minute Maid lemonade. Unfortunately, they used the cans to produce more Coke. Subsequently, there was a nationwide shortage of my favorite drink, which led me to experiment with alternative brands. Sendik's carried Natalie's lemonade, which was much too sweet for my liking. Next, I tried Country Time lemonade, which happened to be too sour. I ended up substituting my regular lemonade with Natalie's lemonade, which left me extremely unsatisfied. Not only did this lemonade lack the sweet and powerful taste of Minute Maid, but it also only came in a gallon bottle, rather than my normal routine of a grab and go. I had to stop and pour a glass each time I had a craving. This drove me crazy. Due to all this, my taste buds suffered all summer long because good lemonade was yet to be found. Summertime will always be the best time to crack open a can of lemonade, but my beloved Minute Maid was nowhere in sight. During the summer, I can often be found enjoying a round of golf with the boys. If you play golf, you know you have good and bad rounds. While I was in the midst of my worst round, I reached into my bag and was faced with disbelief. My beloved lemonade was missing, which usually fueled me to turn around my round. I felt my stomach drop and questioned how was I going to finish the round. Lemonade had been my secret weapon on the golf course for so long, but now I would have to proceed without it. I played a rough front nine, but when I located some lemonade, a great volt of greatness flowed through me. I was able to play a back nine to cover my bad front nine. Without having Minute Maid, I'm a different person. I don't have the same amount of excitement nor energy to function in my day. Luckily, the Minute Maid lemonade crisis is finally over. Once I heard the news, I rushed to Sendik's to secure multiple cases of the drink. I've missed so much. The first sip reminded me of how great the best drink in the entire world tastes. My taste buds were singing songs of joy. Ultimately, this nationwide shortage of lemonade has taught me two valuable lessons in life. All things are not made equally, and it is essential to cherish what you love. Lastly, I would like to thank my parents for supporting me throughout my time at USM. They gave me the opportunity to attend such a great institution that has given me the keys to more success. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Savannah and I are here today to introduce a girl who is bad at a lot of things. She's not great at walking, and her stomach doesn't exactly work properly, but more importantly, she's good at a lot of things too.
She's an amazing baker, a dedicated student, and the most positive person in adversity that I've ever met. She's creative, passionate, and the best person I could have asked for to watch America's Next Top Model with late at night.
Without further ado, the girl who's the reason we eat way too much cake,
Who wanted to be a ham sandwich when she grew up,
and our sister that we're so proud of.
Sydney Michelle Miracle.
So many people live in fear of some terrible event changing their life. Well, for me, that terrible event has already happened. On December 9th, 2017, I got sick. And not just with the cold or with the flu, no. I got really, really sick. Because of this, I've spent about a year in the hospital throughout my time in high school. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was easy or it was fun, because trust me, it wasn't. But guess what? You fight and you survive. You don't get another choice. You adapt and your life changes, but in the end, you continue on with the compromises you've had to make and the sacrifices you've had to endure. You learn to balance your fears with the simple truth that you must keep living. No, I will not be running any marathons or hiking any mountains anytime soon. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're healthy or you're sick or you're rich or you're poor. What matters is your desire to do something with the life ahead of you. 4 years ago, I was a competitive volleyball player and I rode my horse nearly every day. I could be spontaneous. I could do whatever I wanted. Now, staying out of the hospital is a significant accomplishment. I am fed through my heart, and I'm currently confined to a wheelchair. But through this, I've realized I have so many more blessings than I do health issues. And I've realized that whether or not I want it to, life keeps going. It doesn't just postpone itself because my life isn't going exactly how I think it should be. It moves on with or without you. And I feel like we're all waiting for something. We're all waiting to be healthy or waiting to be wealthier. We're waiting to grow up or really find our passion. And while we're waiting for these things, we're missing so many tremendous opportunities that are in front of us. And I mean, we're only given one life. You can't stop feeling pain or stop being sick, but you can live the most joyful, fulfilling life you can with the cards you've been dealt. And your cards are different than the person's next to you, and their cards are different than mine. And you can't compare your cards to anyone else's. And your cards today, they might be different than your cards tomorrow, which is why you can't wait. You need to play your cards. No one's life is easy, but you only get one of them. So make yourself proud of the life you live. Thank you.